for our upcoming Track Day Trophy series. So it's going to be a few cars. I've tested around 15 cars so far. They all hit the spec. So the specifications are that it can't be more than a 1.8 litre, so it needs to be 1800 whatever cc. As long as it's not 1900 on the engine displacement, you'll be fine. The weight is a minimum of 1,050 kilos as well. I appreciate that some are in pounds as well, so you'd have to convert that, unfortunately, because my brain isn't working this time of morning. You need to go to Brand Central. We're going to be building the Suzuki Swift. Okay, so we need to go buy the car first. Where is Suzuki? There we go. Can't see if I look at it. They told me the brain ain't working. Right, showroom. Swift Sport 17 there. See, so it's a small hatchback. You can see there it's a 1.371cc engine, front wheel drive, and just basic tiny little hot hatch super mini, bit like the GR4 car as well. Also as well with the series, it's only going to be FF or FR cars that are going to be allowed. There's going to be no four-wheel drive and no mid-engine cars. Okay, so the weight for this is already 970 kilo, which seems a bit light to me, because you want 1050 for me to add weight to this. Okay, so we'll purchase this in the blue. Not that it matters what colour, to be perfectly honest, because you're going to put your own liveries on it anyway. I'm hoping this will, you can add up to 200 kilo on the ballast, so we won't have to take any weight reduction modifications to this car. So what we're going to do, we're going to make it look all nice. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do the parts first, and then we'll make it look pretty in a minute. So on the sports thing here, you've got a number of things. Because it's already only 970 kilos, we do not need these weight reduction modifications. On some, you need to go to stage 3. On others, might only need stage 2. But with this one, we're just going to add weight. So on this page here, on the sports page, we don't need anything. Okay, on to club sports, you're going to need the sports suspension. These are mandatory parts. These are parts that have to be fitted, okay? The one-way LSD, close ratio high transmission, and then it's advisable then to get the power, get the power sort of down to things, to put the weight power restrictor in, and obviously to sort out the weight to the specification, you add the ballast, okay? Semi-racing, again, this is where it's entirely up to you how you build the car, really, because, there's many different ways of hitting the same horsepower, so I'm going to leave that completely open. But the one thing I will specify as well, that we want the racing silencer, we want the racing exhaust manifold, because, to be fair, the cars sound better with racing exhaust, to be perfectly honest. Just why not? So also I would recommend racing brake pads and racing brake discs. So the way I've built all the cars so far, like I said, it's entirely up to you. The way I've built them is I put a racing clutch on. Brake balance controller is also useful. And then I'm looking at pushing that power then from the 153 up to the 230 that is permitted. So we'll do racing air filter. We'll do the intercooler. Again, we're on 159 at the moment. So anti-lag depends on if you put the turbo in. I mean, the turbo itself is going to put it up to 272, so that's going to be well over what it is. You have to pull the power right back on that, but it might be necessary. Computer also helpful. So you're 169 now. So what have we got? We could go. Let's try it. Let's go the high RPM turbo there. Okay. If you're using a turbo, stick on the anti-lag as well, just because, well, why not? Because it's just that bit more punchy, isn't it? So we're now on 288 horsepower, and so we're overweight and we're underweight, sorry, and overpowered. But we can adjust that in the settings of the actual setting sheet on the game. So now we don't need anything else on this other than, where's it gone? There it is, down here. Other than racing soft tyres, as that is all what's going to be permitted. There will also be wet races in this series, so you will need to get intermediate tyres as well. I don't imagine I'm going to go heavy wet, but I've not decided yet, so you may need to buy both of those tyres as a precaution. So we'll go back to the GT Auto now on the maintenance, and then we're going to throw on the wide body kit, because why the hell not? Go on guys, pull them arches, go on. See how strong these are, they're amazing. Wow, look how far out those guys have pulled those arches. It must have had their Weetabix this morning, I swear to God. So we go back on this. Oh, it's whole GT7 doing its thing, applying stuff it's already done. Why? Okay, so now you're going to turn your little pocket rocket into a proper little race car. Basically, this is going to look like the GR4. Wheels-wise, any design you want, really. I would recommend 18 inches, just because it looks all right. You want to go for the wide fitting on both if you can. Okay. Custom parts there in front. Put the splitter on it, and put the wing on it as well. Either one, really, because I'm allowing downforce adjustments in this series, so it'll be up to you. Again, I just mess with all racing items and just put the bonnet pin on, just make it look a little bit more racy, because, you know, why not? I always remove the front number plate as well, because, well, you know, it looks a bit rubbish otherwise. They are nice. Okay, right, now over to the car settings itself, and this is how you adjust it so it meets the specification, basically. So into your garage, or you can do this in the lobby or whatever. Okay. Car settings there. See how racy that looks already. It looks great looking. It's a great looking car, the Suzuki. So you want to throw the softs on. Make sure it's got the soft tyres on. Okay. The PP limit on this, even though this is more down to power and weight, I'm going to have to put a PP limit on the lobby itself. I think the PP is going to be around 605, 610. I need to play around with the other cars to make sure that it's relevant, but I think that's what we're going to be aiming at. So as you can see here, sport suspension, it locks out all the settings there, so it keeps it all nice and even. All same thing with the LSD, it gives it that bit more bite, but again removes the settings, so then there's no unfair advantage. And the same goes for the gearbox. There's no adjustment on the gearbox, so they are all the same. Alright, downforce, I would recommend putting the front, if it's front wheel drive, on maximum, and then the rear 100, 150, that'll do. I wouldn't, you know, again, it's entirely up to you. Anything more than 150 though on these cars, and you're going to suffer down the straights, because it's just going to provide too much drag. So to reduce the weight then, we want 230 horsepower. So I would just go to the output adjustment. Don't touch the power restrictor, because you actually get a better power curve and better response from the engine if you just move the output adjustment, okay? Or is it the other way around? I can't remember. We'll play around with both, see what happens. Right, so with this one, we just drop that down to bang on 230. Perfect. So that's 80 there. It goes on to 230. You click on that, refresh. So you see the 0.025 here on the left-hand side is 14.1 seconds. And you can see, you know, all right. So let's put that back up to 100, and then change this down now. So then that's on, again, 230, 80%, lovely. Refresh that, so that's 1385. So sorry, I was wrong with what I said before. Leave the output adjustment where it is, reduce the power restrictor to 80 on this one, okay? Because then that is that, it's about 0.2, just under 0.2 of a second faster, 0 to 25, than it is if you just use the output adjustment percentage here, all right? Now, for the weight, again, you can see here we're 970 kilo. We are about, what, 80 kilo underweight. So we add the 80 here. Okay, refresh that. And now we are, as it says there, 1050. Now, if you want to make it that little bit more balanced, because it's very front heavy at the moment, just shift that ballast all the way to the back, as it's front wheel drive anyway. If it slides, you just plant the throttle and it'll pull it straight. Again, refresh that and see it's more 57.43 now. It's more balanced. Yes, the 0 to 25, 0. The quarter mile essentially, is slower now than what it was, because obviously you've added weight. You know, and this setting here is rated at the 970 kilo. We've added 80 kilos to this, so you know the acceleration is going to suffer. But that is essentially it. Okay. Now there are several cars you can use to do to this spec, whether it's a new car or a used car, as I will show you now. So into my garage now, you can see I've done the AE86, the 208, the Integra, DS3. You can see they're all at roughly, even the brand new MX-5, you know, that still hits the spec as well, the front wheel drive. The Polo needs lifting up there by a touch, by 7 kilo, but that's again nothing major. And you can see there's a good what here so far. There's what there's 12 cars there I've tuned so far to this spec, and there is more besides that in the game. You just need to find them. So again, no more than 1.8 or 1800 cc or 1899. It's not going out. 1800 and 230 horsepower maximum with a minimum weight of 1050 kilos. And when I have done the testing on this, they've all been within around 1.2 seconds between each other on Brands Hatch Indy. But with the settings we're going to use in the lobby, all these cars will be completely bumper to bumper for the entire race. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's helpful. Please just like it if you don't mind, and if you find it helpful. And I'll see you next time.